Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon and I'm back today with a new episode of Call of Cthulhu Doors to Darkness. We've got the full cast and crew with us tonight, so let's go around. Let's figure out who we are and who we're going to be playing tonight. So let's start just below me down there with Tom, Redundant UK. Tom, how you doing, my friend?
I'm not too bad at all, thank you very much. Not too bad at all. Happy to be here again. As always, every Wednesday, the best day of the week. I'll be playing Sloan, who agrees with me that Wednesday is the best day of the week, while we goonie it up and potentially go down a wishing well or a well. It's called Cthulhu, it's a wishing well.
I certainly wish that you guys went down that well, and it seems like you are. So my wish has certainly come true. We also have Greg, Grimjack21502 of us tonight. Greg, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm here from the Ministry of Defense. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. But no, I am on an archaic setup. I have 2 windows open on a laptop with 63% power. So I'll see you guys for as long as I see you. Let's get to playing.
Amazing, great stuff. Still doesn't quite top the Disneyland stream, but certainly up there. We also have Lindy with us tonight. Lindy, how you doing?
I am doing super spiffy. I am so ready to play some Call of Cthulhu today with these wonderful people. I'll be playing Mildred Crabapple, who is having a great time right now in the Hotel Motel Holiday Inn with Mr. Willie Brophy. Ooh, ma la la.
Indeed, absolutely. We also have Donovan Fry back for us tonight. Don, how you doing, my friend?
I am awesome. I got to watch last week's episode, and wow, I'm really excited to be back and to catch up with everybody and all the craziness that's already happening. Playing Louis Delgado, wealthy Wall Street man and sugar investor.
Great stuff. And last but not least, we have Jonathan Pruitt with us tonight. Pruitt, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. Kicking off the 9 hours like I like to do here with Call of Cthulhu and these amazing players. Cannot wait to see what we get up to. Gonna be playing Seth Penhollow, book dealer, weasel for hire. He's already made a deal with a vampire, I'm pretty sure. Or a demon, I'm not sure, but anyway. So we're gonna see what he can get up to while Mildred's in there with a handful of bills. So
absolutely. She is having a whale of a time, and we'll get into it, my friends, don't you worry. But before we do, I'll remind you guys that we are sponsored by Fantasy Grounds today, our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the maps, the rolls, the dice, the tokens, and everything that you'll be seeing today are from Fantasy Grounds. You can check them out for free and play with hundreds of different tabletop games. We play Warhammer, Star Wars, City of Mist, and D&D 5e on them alone. But there's a wealth of community titles out there as well that you can try and download for free. Also, Wayland Games are our sponsors for miniatures. You can get a bunch of sexy minis, Warhammer, D&D. They just sell books, they sell dice, pretty much anything for your gaming needs at Wayland Games for 20% off over there. And of course, you guys can interact with today's games. If you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button and join us. When we hit 20 followers today, you guys in chat get to decide something which happens next in our viewer decisions. I will ask you guys a question. You guys will provide me with some answers. We'll vote on them, and whatever you guys come up with happens in our game. We've had some very fun ones so far. Also, here is a tweet for you guys as well. 20 retweets, viewer decision, and of course, as Isriva has already shown us, you can donate to affect the game as well by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. Isriva has already given 2 wild magic surges for Lindy and 2 boss monsters. So we're going to get right into that at the beginning here. Thank you for that. But let's remind ourselves what happened last week. The party are investigating the disappearance of James Fraser. They are investigators, supernatural investigators, working for a team known only as Caligula. Now, the party have found themselves in Arkham, Massachusetts, investigating his disappearance. They went to, first of all, the Black Dahlia Jazz Club, where they've met with a strange man named Prospero, whom Seth may have made a deal with at the beginning of last episode, thanks to a very special baguette. But this deal is certainly not one that seems like it could be trusted. Prospero seems like a particularly predatory man, and has been looking at Seth like he is a piece of meat, quite literally ready to be eaten. But the deal is that Seth will provide information on the party to Prospero in return for artifacts, books, and general wealth that Seth is interested in trading in and learning from. The party went to speak with one Travis Bryce at the university, at Miskatonic University. However, Travis was under a similar sort of curse, one that Seth may be coming to realize that he's got some problems with as well. Travis had taken a deal, an anonymous deal through the mail, not to watch over James Fraser. That same night James Fraser went missing. However, Travis is now turning into some kind of bird, some kind of eagle talons was on his hand, thanks to a wild magic surge and a quick twist of fate. At the same time as he was explaining to the party that some mysterious person had left a lot of money on his doorstep in return for this deal, his brains were blown out of his head. He also had a wild magic surge, interestingly enough, that will come into play later. But he was head blown straight off. The party fled the scene. They managed to get some transportation and head up to the Squatters Lake Motel, where they believe James Fraser may have stayed the night. At the Squatters Lake Motel, they met Robert and William Brophy. Robert is the older gent who can still walk and speak. William has had a funny turn apparently in the last few years, and being in his old age, he's just in a wheelchair, but he likes to help out around the place. The party got rooms there and started to have a little investigate around. This investigation on Mildred's behalf turns to the strictly sexual, as she now finds herself alone in a room as we faded to black and the birds sang above the Squatters Lake Motel with one of the Brophy brothers, or both, who knows. But the rest of the party have been elsewhere. Lewis has been away on business, but will be meeting back with the party. And Sloane and Castor headed off to investigate around the Squatters Lake Motel. Around there, they found some strange tire prints, perhaps from a car. They believe that James Fraser drove there, and they have reason to believe that he may very well have stayed at this motel. They went investigating into the woods after some strange tracks of men's feet, a man's footprints, but he had no big toe. The tracks lead into a well, and as we left things off, they sent Laszlo, Castor's monkey, down into the well to have a little poke around. The others are staying back up there. Seth is back in the motel, and Lewis is shortly to arrive. We also had a little brief glimpse back into Prospero's room, where it turns out that Travis Bryce isn't actually dead. Whilst his brains have been blown out, he is one of Prospero's minions. Of course, the party don't know that, but we as an audience do. So let's dive back into our scene, and I actually want to start today with Lewis. Mr. Delgado, as you are, you've been in touch with Caligula. You've been off on your business, but you've been in touch with your contact Eric at Caligula, who believes them to be staying at the Squatters Lake Motel. And if you were to ask someone like Prospero, he would tell you exactly where they've gone as well. So with your contacts, it's not hard to track down your friends. It is late as you're arriving here. Yes, you left them a note, haven't you? Yeah, you're right. It's late as you're arriving here. How does Lewis arrive? Is he in a car? Is he just walking up? How does Lewis travel?
So Lewis is probably known for a little while that they were headed off, but he waits until his boy, Rufus, and I say boy, it's not his son. He doesn't have a son. It's his... it's the son of a friend that he's doing a favor for, and he's this ratty Aryan-looking boy. Wears a white suit like Lewis was wearing before, but he doesn't keep it very clean. And he procures a car and has brought a lot of luggage. Lewis didn't have any of his things with him when he started off in this investigation, so he's waited to get his things, which includes a lot of clothes and things that you couldn't possibly want to bring on an investigation or to a swamp. He's bringing them. and they get in the car, and he spends most of the trip berating the boy, in turn being very, very quiet and contemplative.
Yeah, the trip isn't a long one for you guys in the car, but as you berate the boy, slowly the landscape around you turns to basically being a swamp. It becomes quite tough going on the car, which probably fuels Lewis's frustration. As you know, every now and again you're gonna have to get out and like get the car out of a rut, and the boy's gonna have to push it through, and just waste more of your time. And after several hours of this, it would have been easy going, but you know, the boy's clearly a bit of a fool. You will arrive at the Squatters Lake Hotel. It is a pretty shabby, old-looking building, certainly nothing that you would like to stay in whatsoever. But you can see the car outside that you recognize to be, well, actually, you probably wouldn't recognize it, but presumably this is your friend's. And there are lights on inside. There are vacancies in this place, apparently.
Okay. Well, he tells Rufus to stay out with the car until he gets everything sorted inside. And he brings his money, and he'll open the creaking door and go into the lobby. Is there anybody in there right now?
Right now, it's just Seth, who's sort of sweating nervously, looking into the room beyond, from which the sounds of light creaking can be heard.
Hey, Mr. Pinhollow.
Yeah.
And Seth will kind of walk like he thinks people walk when they're trying to be quiet, you know? But
Yeah.
it still makes the same amount of noise. And he kind of comes up, Mr. Delgado, we need to help me look. We got to find some stuff. We're investigating. We think James stayed here. Mildred is distracting the proprietor of the establishment currently. So just ignore that. Don't think about that. We're not thinking about that. And then Seth will then quietly walk behind the counter and try to find that ledger or any other evidence, car keys. He's just looking for anything that might lead to evidence of James being.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find a ledger there. It is, no longer at this point protected by Robert or William Brophy.
Okay. And just start like flipping through that.
Yeah, there are not a lot of people that have stayed at the Squatters Lake Motel, so it's pretty easy to go through. And like William said, the page which you would expect James Fraser to be on, if you were to go back 2 weeks in the pages, is missing. It has been torn out.
Looking at the pages themselves, does it look like William writes with a particularly heavy hand, like when he's writing in the ledger?
He looks like he's got quite a frail hand.
Okay.
Like he's not very, he doesn't hold a pen quite strongly, and maybe he wants to.
Okay. We could do kind of scratch with a pencil and see if maybe it imprinted on the next page, but I don't know.
Mr. Pinhollow, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused as to what's going on, but and he gets close so that he's not too loud. My boy, Rufus, and all of my things, we're out in the car, and I don't have a room, so I would like to settle in before we get going in this investigation. Now, was this the only hotel that you could find around here?
Well, sir, it's the only hotel like around here. But is more importantly, we think that if James was on his way to see his girl, he would have stopped here because he left late at night, or he might have. So we're trying to find evidence of that, and the proprietor William has been It's not an understatement to say he's been a little sketchy. I know sketchy. I've seen it before. So, again, we're just trying to find some evidence. If you'd like, you can take my room, sir. I have not slept yet in it, but we might not want to draw the attention of the people just yet. If you can understand.
You
We're
are
being
the investigator.
clandestine. Yeah.
I'm happy to play along. I'll just tell my boy to turn off the lights and wait in the car and not make any noise, which is how I prefer him anyhow. And he'll lean out the door and kind of snap and make a couple of motions and
Yes, sir.
to Rufus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Rufus, turn out the lights and don't make any sound. Stupid child.
Yes, sir. And just immediately obeys.
Pulls back in. All right, Mr. Pinhollow, please, how can I be at your service?
Well, I mean, if you just want to help me, like, look around, I don't know. Like, we're trying to see if maybe James's car was here somewhere. I don't know if he'd have the keys still, or he might not have anything to do with that. We're just grasping at straws at this point, sir.
Oh, well, all right. Let's see here. And he'll look around, and is there any indication of, like, maybe sometimes people are hanging keys up on, like, a wall or anything like that?
Yeah, there are a set of keys that have been hung up just by a double-barreled shotgun. On the left-hand side, there's a bunch of old number plates, number license plates that have been collected from the past 25 years or so.
Mm-hmm. He'll go over there and he'll start, before he starts looking at the license plates, he's going to quietly take the shotgun down and check to see if it's loaded.
It is, yeah. It's got a couple of rounds in it.
He empties out the rounds and pockets them and then puts carefully the shotgun back exactly how he found it. And he said, just in case this is a dangerous situation, best not to let them have their weapons armed.
Yeah, besides, it's just basic gun safety. You know, just don't leave it loaded like that.
Yes. And he'll take a look at the license plate, the keys, try to determine, and see if he can find anything, and he'll share whatever he finds with Pinhollow.
Yeah, the keys look like they would fit into the doors of the rooms. I've just shared with you a basic layout. They look like the same as Seth's key. So you'd be able to tell that they probably opened similar locks.
Mm-hmm.
Would we know?
You've probably got at least 10 keys on you.
Would we know about the workshop out back? Like, are any of our rooms on that side of the building?
Yeah, they're not on that side of the building, but Castor has taken a look outside and seen that there is a workshop out back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And are there keys marked for the workshop as well?
There aren't any keys marked for the workshop. There are only 4 rooms.
Well, we could look at these vacant rooms. Sometimes people leave things behind.
That's you're absolutely right. I mean, of
Do you
course
know
you are.
what room the boy stayed in when he was here? Have you learned that?
No, I don't believe we did. He points back to the ledger. Like, the page was ripped out of that. So obviously somebody
perhaps
wanted
we
to-
should check.
Yes. Again, you obviously have the best ideas, sir.
Oh, well, don't sell yourself short, Pinhollow. You're a clever fellow. Come, let's go. Before the proprietor emerges from wherever he is right now.
Yeah, yes. You're absolutely right, sir. I didn't think they were probably going to be in there for a while, though. Oh, God.
And Seth will try to just wipe the mental image from the next room out and leave as quiet as he can.
He'll follow along. Is she sharing her cookies then? What strategy is she using?
It's something from the 19th century, I'm sure. Sir, I think we should really not be here anymore. I don't, I'm not comfortable with this.
I agree. Let us go to the back.
All right, you guys want to
Somebody
go
is.
outside and sort of take a look at the workshop?
Yeah, we're gonna also take it around back.
Nice. You know what? 2 wild magic surges for the people in the other room. So another wild magic surge for Seth and 1 for Lewis. Mildred, you have 2 wild magic surges. We may as well roll those at this point. You do /die 1d10,000.
I got a
Awesome.
4252.
Nice. 42-52 for
Ooh.
Lewis. During battle...
100 and...
Sorry.
No, my bad. I'm sorry.
Lewis says, during battle, target's allies can't speak to him. Good. Let's see, yours.
113.
Seth, 13. After each spell, you vanish very briefly. Kind of
I dig
interesting.
it.
You like blink for a second. It's cool. Wow, Mildred, nice and high up there. 9886. The ground within 50 yards swarms with biting insects.
This is so bad. The swamp. I believe we close the window.
Okay.
got that
What's
case
your
of
other
crimes
wild magic
taken care
there?
I had 6, 9, 6, 1, and 9, 8, 8, 6.
Oh, I can't seem to see your first one. 611. What was it?
6, 9, 6, 1. 69, 61.
Oh, I think I did. No, yep. Target's attacks are 5% likely to inflict equal damage upon herself. Yeah, that's probably accurate. When you get that old and you start fighting, you probably start. When you move that quickly, it's probably going to hurt you a little bit as well.
Probably. It's 5% likely to pull a muscle.
All right. Let's see if you go out back to the take a look at the workshop. You can see that out here it is a pretty old-looking part of the building, and it's been well boarded up as well. There are like nailed-in boards across it. You can see that there is a door behind the nailed-in boards, and there is a glass window as well, which doesn't look like it can open. It looks like it's been sort of shuttered closed. So they're the only 2 entrances into the workshop. The window has curtains up in front of it as well, so you can't really see into what's inside that workshop.
Well, that is an oddity for sure. If we go into this room, they will know that we have been here.
Yes, yeah, they will. I mean, what do you think? Do you want to check out the empty rooms first, and then maybe come back to this, or I mean, you're in charge.
I am not experienced in this regard, but I am always up for a little bit of fun. So, I say, why not just go right into the workshop? I'm sure that we can cast it off as a misunderstanding. I can leave him a tip, and all will be well if we find nothing of concern.
Oh, the best alibi is money. So
Money, yes.
You seem to have a lot of alibis, so okay. Yeah.
Do you have any tools that might help us get in here? I wouldn't want to hurt myself.
No, but maybe there's something we can use for in the car, like for changing spare tires. Usually comes with
yes,
a rod or something. We could maybe I could go fetch that if you don't.
Yes, yes. No, I'll have Rufus bring it to us, and you stay here just for a moment.
Okay.
And Lewis will go around. He'll tell Rufus he needs like a tire iron, and he's gonna go ahead and grab that shotgun if they're gonna break in. If they're gonna actually break in, he'll grab it and load it and take it with him just in case for now.
Absolutely. Rufus is like, oh, of course, sir. He's been like waiting for a moment to be helpful again. And he like goes into the trunk and gets out the spare tire iron for you. Do you need anything else, sir?
No, Rufus, no, and please be quiet. Don't let yourself be seen. You're going to ruin this entire thing for us.
Yes, sir. I know, sir. I'm sorry. I hate it when I
Alright.
ruin everything.
Yes, I do too. Please, back in the car. It won't be long now.
Of course. He like shrinks back into the car.
And when Lewis walks away, Seth is going to go ahead and open his like satchel and open up his copy that he always talks about of The Art of War, and pull out of the in-cut his Derringer that he keeps hidden in there. Goes ahead and puts it in his front pocket where it'll be better accessible, and then put it away before he gets back.
Okay. We have a viewer decision, and this could be dangerous. Actually, I know what we'll do. What do Sloane and Castor find at the bottom of the well? What is at the bottom of the well underneath that line in chat? At the well. Alrighty. So the two of you kind of load up, get your stuff, and meet each other back around the back of the workshop. What do you guys want to do?
Here, I got a tire iron. Would you like to do the honors for me? And he offers
sir.
him.
Yes, sir. I wouldn't want you to get your suit dirty. I mean, that's a fine cut. Who are you wearing? As he's like,
Seth is actually, he hates himself for doing what he's about to do, but can he hear the noises inside still?
Roll me a listen check.
Because basically, I'm going to try to wrench the door open in time. No, I can't hear anything.
No. All you can hear is like very like light jazz being played.
Okay, well, he's gonna try to do it in time with the snare, just like at least like. But like just kind of
that's the
slowly
old method.
wrench the door open, or wrench the board off. Anyway,
Just keep a beat, absolutely. Yeah, roll me a strength check.
that's a extreme success. Oh wait, no.
Damn, because
No, I'm sorry, it's a hard success, but still, it's fine.
It is a very loud process to do this, even with the light snare on. With the they're not even using sticks; they're using brushes on it because it's like super sexy jazz. You start to get it open. It is a really tough piece of like wood that they have nailed into this thing. Like someone has gone out of their way. Someone's gone out of their way to nail this together. You almost have it off when you hear the sounds of a kind of like scuffle from inside, and a few seconds later you hear people moving from inside the rooms, presumably coming outside to see what the noise is.
Oh, sir. I think they're coming out. Should we? You want to go around to my room?
Is that sound that we're hearing? Is it like the rooms on our side of the building, like the hotel rooms?
Yes, it sounds like the rooms that Mildred's in. So the Brophy brothers are probably moving.
Oh, okay.
I think they heard us.
Well, we're already committed to this, so let's just continue. And if they come out, I'll talk to them.
Okay.
You just get yourself in the room.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And Seth he does what the money says, so he goes back to wrenching the door open.
He's Lewis is watching to see if anybody comes out of the rooms.
Okay, yeah. A few moments later, you see William Brophy coming out. He's still like pulling up his breeches, and he's got like a lantern with him, and he kind of looks out. He's like, "Oh, what's going on out here?"
Lewis will he's leaned the shotgun back up against the door frame, kind of like obscuring it behind Seth, and he'll stride right up to the man and reach out his hand and say, Louis Delgado, we're out here. I was hoping to procure a room, but I couldn't find anybody out front in the reception area.
You're gonna be a fast talk.
Oh, I'll crit that.
Good idea. He is like, oh, I see. Well, in that case, you best come in. Now, this workshop is just an old place. We don't use it anymore. It used to, but please, Mr. Penhollow, you should know better. I don't need anyone busting up my workshop. We
were just confused. And I asked him to do it. I thought that was maybe another office or something. I'm sorry. I'm not used to these sorts of places. Mr. Penhollow.
We heard sounds of commotion. We thought they were from inside there. So
a very strange music, and so we thought someone was inside the room that might be able to help us.
Here I am now.
Thank you.
Said about that, the better, I think. Well, come inside, Mr. Delgado, was it? Yes.
Yes.
Come on in. And
Absolutely.
he continues to like put on the rest of his clothes until the point where he's basically dressed again and gets back to the front desk in the reception and is like, so you need a room for the night?
I do. And he's, as they are turning around the corner, he kind of waves to Penhollow to say, like, you don't need to come along. You can hang behind.
Okay. And Seth will just kind of, like, stop around the corner of the building. And after he goes back inside, Seth is going to slowly, like, go back around to the workshop.
Okay, roll me a stealth check, Seth.
I'm going to crit that.
Strong play. A strong play indeed. Excellent. Okay. So you just sneak right away, and no one is the wiser. William Brophy is completely sort of taken in by Louis's charm, and it's like, oh, well, we have one room, just as well. We have lots of other people here tonight, so just a one room, room number 5. It's excellent. You know what? I don't even know how much I charge. I think it's 50 cents for a night.
Oh, well, I don't even have that little amount of money, so please allow me to pay you more than that, if you don't mind. I know it's late. I hate getting here so late.
Well, I suppose so. Call it a dollar.
Oh, yes. And he lays down a $10 bill, and he's like, that is, I'm sorry, as little as I have, and I don't like to take change, so please keep it for yourself, for your troubles, and I'll have my boy start to unload my things into room number 5, you said.
Yes, very, very generous indeed. I'll just put down the name here, and yes, you can just use that room there. We do ask, we keep things down after it gets dark.
I am very tuckered, so you won't have to worry about me. It's going to be a very quiet night, I assure you.
Absolutely. And he will wait for you to head over to your room and sort of stay at the reception desk for a minute.
Before Lewis leaves, he'll say, the others, my friends, you said they're here as well, or Did they turn in for the night?
I think they did. I think they did.
Very good.
Right.
And breakfast in the morning. Do you do breakfast here?
Well, there is a little store. If you head to the north and walk for a couple of minutes, there is a small store, but we don't serve food here ourselves. But if there's anything you want, then just let me know and I can order it. We get deliveries in on Tuesdays.
Ah, yes. Well, I will leave
It's
you a
Wednesday.
list in the morning.
So he smiles and sort of like totters off back into the side rooms with Mildred.
And Lewis will return. And number 5 is right next to that workshop, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. He'll head back around and see if he can see Pinhollow once Pinhollow's in the room, if he gets in.
Yeah, Seth just got done sneaking around the corner and is getting ready to like try to wrench the door open again when you come around the corner.
Okay, Seth, you can roll me a strength check and a stealth check. Because this bit's going to be a little easier. You can do it without making too much noise.
Okay. Strength got a regular success, and stealth. I'm gonna just use a nat 20 on that because I got a 20% chance, and I'd rather just, yeah.
I will not risk it for the biscuit. Alrighty, so that's good. You do manage to prise off the nail boards from it with the tire iron and just kind of like set them down to the side fairly quietly. Lewis can see you from his room if he looks out the window. And vice versa.
Okay.
As Rufus is unloading his bags into the room, he's going to rejoin with Seth and say, good work there, Seth. Would you like me to accompany you?
Oh, yes, sir. And I couldn't have done it without your tire iron, of course. Thank you.
And he'll try to hand it back to Lewis. Probably all covered in dirt and grime.
He does wear gloves all the time. He wears gloves, and he'll take the iron, but it's still kind of gross to him. He'll give it a look and sort of toss it at the feet of Rufus as Rufus is coming around with like 2 big bags. Say, pick that up and clean it, boy. I'm going to go with Mr. Pinhollow.
Of course, I'll clean the room while I'm at it, sir.
Oh yes, good. I'm sure it's disgusting. And he'll pick up the shotgun on his way in.
Yeah.
And boy, you should maybe tell him to go ahead and be a little loud. Maybe he can give us some cover with his cleaning.
I can do that cleaning.
Yes, loud cleaning. Good thinking, Mr. Pinhollow. You are a clever fellow.
Rufus like beams for the chance to be useful. And he goes into a little suitcase and just like puts on marigolds, gets out a leather duster and just starts going at it. It's like cleaning, just trying to be as loud as possible at like midnight. So you guys are sneaking back around to the workshop, but elsewhere, Mildred, is it fair to say that you are staying the night?
Probably fair. She could try to keep him as distracted for as long as possible. Give the boys as much time as they need to get what they're doing done.
Absolutely. So we'll cut back to Sloane and Castor, who are by a well to the north of the Squatters Lake Motel, having just sent Laszlo down on a bucket. So you send a monkey down, and you hear a few kind of like monkey squeals, squeaks, screams, whatever the appropriate term for a monkey screaming is.
What Castor will do too is before they were lowered down, Laszlo's going to be riding the top, like the handle of the bucket as it's attached to the rope that goes up, and he is going to take a flask from Castor's pocket, and they're both going to empty the contents of the flask inside the bucket. And he hands Laszlo a book of wooden matches as they are headed down. And just so Laszlo has that as he's descending into said hellacious well.
Yeah. When he reaches the bottom, you load him down far enough, you hear these sort of kind of like yep, yep, from the monkey as though it's found something down here of interest.
Pull him back up.
He's got a piece of some kind of white dress-like material in his little paws that he's playing with.
Castor will take it from him and see what it is.
It looks like a piece of dress. If you were to guess, maybe this is from like a skirt or something like that. It's kind of like satiny.
Castor will look at Laszlo and say, "Was there more of this down there?"
He like claps his hands and nods.
Okay. Well, and he turns to look at Sloane. I'm not real keen about going down there, but
It seems like there's a body down there, or someone to address. I would imagine a body.
that doesn't make me feel any better about going down the way you said that, but
No.
can you lower me down?
I could, if that's what you wish.
I just really don't want to go down there.
We could wait. Sorry. We could wait until morning and get one of the others to go down.
At this point, upon hearing this, as the exchange is going between Castor and Sloane, Laszlo would be looking from speaker to speaker, speaker to speaker, and finally he would go back up and grab hold of Castor's ear roughly, and Sloane would see the eyes close blue and open brown. I'll go down, Christ. And Castor begins to lowers the rope all the way and begins to hand over hand down into the well as Laszlo runs up and sits on Sloane's shoulder.
You roll me a climb.
Make sure I got the right guy here.
Yeah.
Because it makes a big difference. I do not. Boom, 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 boom. Do I have a nat 20? Because if I do, I'm using it.
Yes, I think you have two of them.
I will use one right here then. Because I don't know where I am. I'm on this stupid laptop.
So good. You begin to descend down into the well with a practiced ease, and like a monkey, you watch Sloane as Castor just disappears down. As you reach the bottom and you've got a source of lighting on you, you will see what Laszlo had grasped in his hand. It is indeed a dress. And there's more to the dress as well. There's a body in the well. There's a skeletal body in the well. And this is just ahead of you. As you drop down, still headed northwards, there is a little tunnel. Presumably this would be used for maintenance and the like. But in this tunnel, maybe 5 feet ahead of you, is a skeleton in this sort of dress, which you would guess to be some kind of maid outfit, some kind of help or servant. You can roll me a sanity check when you see this, Castor. Let me know what you get here. Chat's loving this. This is your viewer decision, chat. Success? Oh yeah, muted, buddy.
I'm sorry. Yes, it's a success.
So good. There you go. I was wondering, you've been really quiet past 10 seconds. Yeah. You pass your sanity check. You only lose 1 point of sanity as you see this dead person down the bottom of the well. The dress itself looks like it's been torn up a fair amount, and not just from Laszlo's, like pickings as well. It's been down here a long time, enough to degrade away. And same goes for the body itself. There is barely any flesh left on the body. It looks to be purely skeletal. The next worrying thing about this that you'll notice as you get closer is that the body does not appear to be that of a woman. The jawline, the chest structure would lead you to believe that this is a man's body, and they are wearing this clearly female maid's outfit which has been placed upon them. You're not sure whether that was done post-mortem or not.
Is there any identification beyond the maid's outfit? Is there like a wallet or dog tags or some type of,
Yeah, there is only one thing as you go looking on the body. There is no wallet or there's nothing like that, but they do have a little necklace around them, which is a necklace of a hawk.
Who wears a necklace of a hawk? He'll take it. Is there any rings on the fingers or anything?
No rings. Looks like if they were there, they've been picked clean.
Okay. And nothing else of worth down here at the bottom of the well, but there is a path leading off for maintenance?
Is a path leading off, presumably for maintenance. By the body, it looks like there once maybe was a book, but it's long ago rotted away.
Okay. I'm not on. I can't even read. I don't even know what this is. I have an idea of it. Okay, so he'll go and climb back up the rope, or does it look like the maintenance has like an exterior hatch that maybe would have a ladder associated with it? Or
yeah, it leads away to darkness, but there is a ladder that you now see down here. It needs to be like aligned into position and dragged around, but it makes it a lot easier going back up.
Okay, yeah, he'll do that just to get back up with Sloane, and he'll give Sloane the hawk necklace. There's a body down there, look like a guy wearing a maid outfit. I don't know.
A resplendent offering.
An innocent victim, I would imagine. Do you want this?
The hawk necklace?
Yes.
Seems kind of pretentious, but sure, I'll take it.
Hands it to him. Did you find anything else?
There's a tunnel leading off to the, presumably for maintenance, but I didn't see anything. It was dark. I mean, I could go back. There's a ladder there now. We should be able to get down easier.
Sloane will kind of walk around the well to see if there are any other footprints that go off in any other directions.
Yeah. Also, thank you to the two. Sorry for being late. As an apology, 5 nat 20s for Seth and another 5 for specifically Laszlo. Thank you, my friend. Keep that in mind.
Very nice.
Appreciate it. As you look around, there are absolutely no other tracks that lead anywhere but to the well. Whoever went down here, if they did go down here, did not come back again.
And the tracks seem fairly recent, right? Like within the last...
You put within the last 24 hours. Once again, to remind you, the tracks that lead up here are clearly male. However, they are missing both big toes. And not just on one foot, both big toes have been missing.
Did the body have missing big toes? Oh no, it's a skeleton, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the skeleton is picked over pretty well. I mean, it definitely wasn't the thing that was walking around up here.
Yes. We could perhaps investigate the tunnel, continue walking around the lake, or head back and explore the tunnel a bit more, prepare.
It's up to you, Sloan. Whatever you think, man.
Let us head back and come back tomorrow.
Sure.
All right.
Just head back, yep.
On the way back, as you head out from the hemlock trees, back around the big old lake, Escorter's Lake, you look over your shoulder for a second and you could swear that there was someone there for just a second again. Looking back, investigating any further, there's definitely no one there and no fresh tracks. It's just a feeling that you can't quite shift, that you two are being watched out on the lake. You return back to the motel. And if you were to go around, you'll be just in time to see Seth and Louis, because you guys are arriving from the north, about to enter into the workshop.
I approach them and you are breaking and entering now.
Oh, don't do it. Sloan, please don't do that. I'm already nervous about this. Yes, we're checking out the workshop. There's too many weird things.
Such as?
Well, I mean, somebody stole the page that we're looking for. It seems rather coincidental, but not.
Yes, it does.
Did y'all find anything?
Oh, well.
Skeleton at the bottom of the well, too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Anyone we know?
It's
Don't know.
a skeleton.
It's a dude in a dress, maid outfit.
Very interesting.
It's a rather progressive inn.
There's a story there somewhere.
Well, we had just managed to get this door open. They went to quite a length to make sure there was no way into this room, and that seems odd to me.
And
So,
you have just...
we were going to go in and take a look around, and if they get upset about it, I'm sure that I can make it up to them.
Very well.
Well, would you like to accompany us, or are you turning in for the night?
I think we can wait 5 more minutes to see what happens here. Yes, Castor?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Oh, good. And good to see you again, Mr. Sloan. You're looking well rested. Well, Mr. Penhollow, would you like to do the honors?
Yes, sir. And he'll kind of try to open the door as quietly as possible.
You want me to stealth check, Mr. Penhollow?
I'm gonna nat 20 that. I have 6 of them, so
Yeah, why not?
get in this room.
Yeah, he's absolutely determined. You silently open a door. Inside it is almost pitch black. You're going to need a source of light to poke around in here. But you can tell that the workshop is probably 20 by 30 feet.
Oh, do either of y'all have a torch or a lighter or a...
Let me, I'll just go have Rufus grab us a couple of lanterns from the room next door, and he'll lightly knock on the room and whisper in to Rufus, a couple of lanterns, boy, please.
Yes, sir.
He has a boy.
Oh, what?
Very good, Rufus. Now back to it. Clean up well, please. I do want to sleep tonight.
Of course, sir. Of course I will. Lewis returns with a couple of lanterns.
A couple of lanterns. He'll hand one to Seth, and he'll hold out another one for just in general space for somebody else to take.
Castor will take it.
Oh, thank you, Castor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And,
yeah. You want to look
I was
inside?
just gonna say that Seth would light the lantern, but kind of use his hand to block most of it to make sure there's not a window or anywhere else in the room. Try to look
Okay,
around.
yeah. Yeah, it's nicely boarded up in here. Other than the door is the only way that any light could come inside or be seen from the outside, because the curtain on the window is blocking any light. You look inside this pretty small space. There are a couple of oil lamps in here, one to either side of the room, on the east and the western floors, walls rather. There are a lot of boxes around here, like old boxes, cardboard boxes that have been like piled up on top of each other, like you leave in the garage with, the garage, to translate for you guys, to like pack old boxes and stuff in. It looks like a lot of old junk in here. However, on the southern side, by some of these crates, you can see that there is a table. A wooden table. Its surface has been blackened and scratched. On it, there are a pair of thick green rubber gloves and a row of 6 jars. The jars are 4 of the jars are half filled with a cloudy yellow fluid, while the final 2 contain dozens of metallic needles spotted with green mold. The items here look like they've been touched recently because there isn't a thick layer of dust on them. However, many of the crates look to be, old, rotted away. The cardboard looks to be quite old. Worryingly enough, on the table there are straps, almost manacles that look like they could hold hands down on them, and legs as well. At a guess, this could be a very old medieval torture table, which they now use for something else, or they just don't use.
Oh my!
What?
What are those jars there?
Sloane is gonna go have a closer look at the jars. Do they resemble any of the fungus that he's seen before? Is he getting kind of like that it could potentially be something like that?
You could roll me, goodness. You can roll me an occult on this one.
An occult? Okay.
Or
I'm pretty
just
good
spot
at
hidden.
occult. Can I use occult? Because I'm better at occult. I can find it. There we go. I got a hard success on occult.
You would think that this is not the same mold.
Okay.
The spores were a lot more active than this. Or perhaps this is like a very old sample, but you wouldn't have thought so. This looks more mucus-like, less spore-like.
Now, you said that some of these look very recently manipulated, yes?
You would say so. There is not a thick layer of dust upon them. And as Sloane looks at them, on your success there, Sloane, you would almost certainly say that this is organic living material. The nature of which, you've got no idea. But it's certainly organic.
It's actually what I think it's living, or it's come from a living thing?
You would think that it's alive.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's different.
Like plant life or growth, but
Okay.
it's fluid and there's mold and there's,
I mean,
mold is alive, right?
yeah, it's a plant, isn't it? I mean, this is the country in Sloane, is it? So you'll just think, well, it's just jars of plants, you know?
Well, but Sloane, like, it's been manipulated. But how did they get in here? Like,
I'm gonna start looking around on the floor, like see if there's like footprints in the dust, or like one of these doors has been opened recently, or look maybe for like a trap door.
Yeah, you can roll
Some
me
other
a
way
score
in
here.
here.
Yeah, good idea.
Ha! I passed.
Nice, good job. Yes, it's interesting. There, behind several of these crates on the southern side, It looks like there is a slide-in door, which has been covered up by crates, but it wouldn't be hard to remove. Certainly, that would lead to William Brophy's room, so you are not far from where Mildred is right now, probably on the other side of it. There's only one wall between you two.
So he's coming here and use this. This is probably where he takes the second dates.
Sloane's gonna check the manacles and the table and see if they have had recent use. So, for example, if it had been there for quite some time, there might be a bit of rust on the manacles. They'd be quite hard to move, or perhaps there's like it's coated in some dust.
You don't need to roll me a spot hidden for this. Clearly, the table is ancient. You don't need to be an antique specialist to see this thing is like rusted away and been very old. You would put this thing several hundred years ago, if not longer than that.
And it hasn't been used recently, I don't think. I mean, is there like a layer of dust on it, or
no layers of dust on anything on the table. So the crates look like they've been old, some of them. The ones at the bottom look to be the oldest, and the newer ones look to be on top, as if, you just place them on top as time goes by. But the table looks like while it's worn, it's scratched, and it's blackened from use and age, there's no layer of dust on the table. Or if there is, it's just a very thin one from the atmosphere in here, which is just quite dusty, like a lot of workshops.
And that's the only... is that the only table in the room?
Only table in the room is the big old antique medieval looking one.
Sloane kind of loses interest and kind of starts to head towards the door. And it just seems they have this ancient torture device and they're using it as a table.
That is
in a room
not
they have boarded up.
normal. That door there, you said it goes into the man who owns this hotel's bedroom, and that's where Mildred is currently? Can we still hear the music?
The music has stopped. You could roll me a listen check if you want to kind of like put your ear to the wall.
Yeah.
Be
he's
careful,
no
sir.
reservations about that. Oh no, it's just something that happens. Old people. Oh, I know how to do this. There we go. Nope. There we go.
Here we go.
It's a regular success.
Yeah. The sounds have stopped. It would seem that the only thing you could hear is like light sleeping from within. A little bit of snoring, maybe.
Oh, it seems that they're just asleep. And can I hear multiple snores, or I can't really tell?
On your regular success, there are probably some people sleeping in that room.
Okay. Was there anything you found that suggested that that boy came through here and might have been in this room? Look around. Are there any pieces of articles of clothing, or maybe like something fell out of somebody's pocket, something that doesn't belong?
Yeah, roll me a spot hidden. There are tons of crates around here and boxes with looks like stuff in them.
Okay. I'm going to use advantage on this.
Okay.
So that'll be a success.
Yeah, looking around the cardboard boxes and the crates, you'll find inside there are old items of jewelry, items of clothing for both men and women, and you also find a jacket with the name A. Hickey in ink on the washing label. That's A. space Hickey.
A. Hickey.
There are also 2 gold wedding rings, various women's earrings, and a silver bracelet with the words, "To my darling Paige," inscribed on it. The last thing you'll find as you go through is an expensive-looking gold watch bearing the initials JS on the clasp. And when I say expensive, this is not Luis Delgado expensive. This is, country expensive.
The gold watch, does it have all 12 numbers like a normal watch?
It does look like a normal watch, yeah. Good question.
Ask, yeah. He'll sort of set the things down on top of the boxes that he's already gone through as he procures them and point out the inscription. It says, Hickey, A. Hickey, Page, J.S. Any of these sound familiar to you? Those names, have you run across them in the investigation?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, because we're looking for James Frazier, so...
Yeah.
No, but
However,
does this not suggest a trend of people disappearing at this motel? I mean, y'all said you found a
quite
body in the well.
possibly. Yeah.
Are they killing people and dropping them down the well to be washed away, or...?
It's very possible. Or perhaps people just leave things behind, and this is a very extravagant lost and found.
But both wedding rings? Two wedding, like
When you
That
said
is
wedding
odd.
rings, is it like the male and the female, or like
they're matching.
Yeah,
Like
matching wedding
matching?
rings. Yeah.
so
Okay,
like
so,
both
yeah, that
both newlyweds left their ring. Like this is starting to.
and Seth needs to go outside. Like this is starting to get a little much for him.
Mr. Sloan, Castor, do you think that this warrants a confrontation with the owner of the hotel here?
We are not the police, Mr. Delgado. We are here to find a single man, not solve
Of
every
course.
murder.
Could we blackmail him?
I think you're on the wrong microphone again, Greg, maybe. Try a refresh once you've made changes. That should help you out. I think Castor suggested that you could blackmail him for information.
Right.
Oh,
Blackmail
could,
is a... What would we get?
well, I do not know, but we know that the boy came through this hotel, and at the very least, it stands to reason that this man might know more than he's letting on.
Perhaps. An investigation may not be out of the question. However, we must be cautious. This man may look old, but maybe there is something that lies deeper.
Oh, you believe this man might be more than human?
I believe in the impossible. And have so many clothes. And the body we found was only 2 years, around 2 years old, a few years at the most. Maybe they are not as frail as they would have us believe.
Oh my.
This is
Seth
all
is now kind of like in the
conjecture,
doorway listening.
Well, we could use blackmail as a first attempt, or perhaps Mildred might have learned something during her excursions.
Are there, So we opened up one of the recent boxes, right? I would imagine. You know, when we searched it for the box.
You've got, yeah, that role I gave to Louis is, sorry, I keep calling him Louis. Lewis is essentially searching through most of the boxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that, and this is a bit thing, but would you say that the clothes are somewhat modern? Like the style?
Some of them, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it's difficult
okay.
to place them, really.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that they were any older than, like, the past 25 years or so, probably.
Okay. Okay. That
I mean,
would-
you've searched the most like top layer of boxes. There's still like you could go through searching down to the very bottom boxes if you wanted to. It'd probably take you a while just due to the sheer amount of them.
Nah, basically, Sloane's just trying to see how long ago, perhaps the nearest, the latest person was. So he's trying to connect the body and the well potentially to these clothes, trying to ascertain if they're a real threat or not.
Okay, well, we're going to cut back to you guys in just a second as you hang out there. We're going to cut back to Mildred post events. William Brophy has kind of fallen asleep in the bed, and Mildred, you're in his room. It's a pretty quiet little room in here. Bookcase, small cubicle, toilet, sink, shower, and the bed itself.
Is the record player still going?
The records are stopped.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna search this room. Sneaky, and investigate.
Yeah, roll me a stealth. No, a stealth hidden. Roll me a spot hidden.
You said roll a stealth and a spot hidden?
Forget the stealth.
Okay, let's use a crit to rifle through things.
Good idea. Yeah.
I have very bad eyesight. It's almost like I didn't put any points into spot hidden.
So, yeah, you will immediately find one of the books is of particular interest because it looks a little bit unlike some of the other books.
Yes.
It's got a weird little spine to it, almost like scale-like, and it reads Revelations of Gla Aki, Volume 7.
Of Gla Aki.
Yes, GLA apostrophe AKI.
Does this seem to be anything of a cult nature, this title? Do I recognize this?
Hey, roll me Nicole.
Okay. Occult. Grab the word. Maybe. Oh, nope, Fantasy Grounds is closed. Alright. Please work, Fantasy Grounds. There we go. Oh, that wasn't it. Well, I got this.
There you go.
Oh! That's a success.
Regular success. Nice. You would know that 9 folio volumes of Revelations of Gla Aki have been published by subscription, the last volume published in 1865. It is rumored that 3 other volumes are written and circulated privately after that time. Each volume was written by a different cultist discussing various aspects of Gla Aki, its cult, and associated entities. You don't really know what the other volumes are, but thumbing through volume 7 discusses the power of Gla Aki and its ability to rule over mankind, and the history of Gla Aki as well, from Hyperborean times, settling in various different rivers and seas.
Okay. Very cool. Anything else interesting I find in this room?
You also find that there is a lockbox underneath the bed.
Ooh.
An iron little lockbox, which is locked.
A little iron lockbox. Okay. Well, first things first. Are there any other books about the same size as this Gla Aki book?
There are other books around there, yeah.
Do they appear to be, like, not super well used or anything? Like any really boring titles like This is the Wizard of Oz, or, like
Right, yeah.
Don Quixote.
Yeah. He's got books that look to be very, very old, so, yeah.
Do I have any books on me? I mean, she's got some books. Do I have any that are about the same size as this book? Like
maybe, but I don't know if she'd, like, have it with her in this room at this point? Yeah.
Okay. I totally want to take the cover off and swap it with another book. That's much more innocuous and take it.
You can remember like a sleight of hand.
Let's crit that too.
Good idea.
I am not Lou.
No. So rather deftly, as though she's stolen books before, Mildred recovers Revelation of Glotaki Volume 7 to something boring, like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Yeah, and I take the boring book and I stick it in my, or the exciting boring book and put it in, like wrap it up in my cardigan. Then she'll just kind of like see what else she can sniff out, see if there's any loose pages of anything. Oh wait, no, there's just the lockbox.
Yeah.
Can I take it? How big is this lockbox? Can I just pick it up?
It would be, let's see, yeah, no, it would be big enough to pick up. It's heavy. You would like need to take it with both hands, kind of heavy, but
Okay.
it's not ironed down or locked down or nailed down or anything like that. It is locked though, big
lock.
lock on it, yeah.
Can I try to lockpick it with my knitting needles?
Sure, roll me a lockpick.
I'm gonna nat 20 that too.
Good idea. I like how we're burning through these before we get to anything important. Yes. Yeah. I've got the wrong one. That's why. There we go. Yeah. In the lockbox, inside there is $1,232 in cash.
Okay. Is that it?
This is a lot of money for these guys to be carrying on them to live in such a rundown place.
Okay. It's just money in there. No pages of anything.
Literally just money. Yep.
Yeah. Mildred takes some of the money. Do they seem to be like sequential numbered? Like, is this like printed money or is it just like accumulated money?
It looks like it's been accumulated. There are, bundles of wads of cash. There is some change in here as well. It has been neatly put together, though.
Well, if it's been neatly put together, I'll leave it, but I'll get an estimate of how much it is and I'll put it back together. I guess she'll just do some light reading before she goes to bed. And by
Probably
light
one more
reading,
spot
I'm
hidden
gonna read
when
some of
you're
the revelations of Key Volume 7.
Oh, great
AKA
idea,
the
yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
Roll me one last spot hidden here.
Oh, please. How many crits do I have left? Let's just use another one. Just one last one. Just...
Reading the Revelations of Gla Aki reduces your sanity by 3 points to begin to study this tome, which will take you a while to study. But doing so, you begin to learn a little bit more about Gla Aki's history. Some kind of ancient creature that has always been on Earth, perhaps before Earth was even formed, or perhaps during the Great Flood time. And Gla Aki was at its greatest power then, perhaps even responsible for the flood, this common flood that most cultures share. Now it has receded in power somewhat, but it is still active in various different seas and lakes, and it enjoys being worshipped by humankind. One thing that you do notice, though, on your nat 20 for spot hidden, is it's probably just about the time that Sloancaster, Seth, and Lewis are breaking into the workshop and looking around in the crates, that you hear a creaking from below you.
Below me?
Mm-hmm. Like something under the bed.
Floor? Oh, like something under the bed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can hunch over, take a little peek. This is...
oh my god. Another 5 nat 20s rolling to amazing. Beautiful. She needs them. She just crit away this whole thing. You don't see anything.
Old, I can't do anything.
There's nothing under the bed.
But I hear a creaking.
You definitely heard a creak, yeah.
Can I try to peek through some of the floorboards to see if it's like a basement underneath or hollow?
Sure, roll me a spot hidden. Want to crit?
Yeah, I want to crit it.
There you do.
It's gonna be
Cool.
awful. It's gonna be an eldritch horde. I'm gonna lose more sanity, but this is fine. Just get my problems away.
Roll me a sanity check.
Okay. That's a success. That's a 69 right there.
Oh dear.
Just can't get enough.
The as you step down and look between the floorboards, there are a pair of eyes looking right back at you.
Do they look like Robert's eyes?
It's very difficult to tell. They're there for a second, but they are right by the floorboards, like right underneath them. If the floorboard is here, then the head is here, and they're looking straight up at you. And then they're gone after about a second. But there were clearly eyes there.
Oh, my peeping toms. That's highly inappropriate. Oh dear. Oh, they looked like human eyes, though. Maybe.
You would say they were human.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully they weren't watching me the whole time. I just looked like I was reading The Wizard of Oz. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Like under the floor? I'm sorry, this is just too freaky.
Under the floor. Under the floorboard. So, you heard a creaking underneath your bed. You look under the bed, there's no one there. So you look between the gap in the floorboard, and there's someone looking right back up at you.
Okay. Great.
Your eyes are like, this far away from each other.
Because I'm so blind, I gotta get that close to see.
Well, if you actually, if you actually want to get down and look through a floorboard, you do have to get right down to it,
Yeah, I want to do that. I have my knit needle ready. This is a bad idea.
You want to do that again?
No. I think at this point I'm gonna sneak out of the room.
Roll me a stealth check.
Credit, Will.
Good. You move out silently from the room, and you're out in the reception.
Well, I know we have rooms 1 through 4, so I'm just gonna walk up there and be like, Seth, Chester, Sloan, any of y'all out here?
You guys could roll me listen checks.
Holy shit.
Oh, good.
I get a success. Rolled a 19.
Nice. You hear Mildred. She's trying to pitch it loud enough to be heard, but also loud as to wake up, William Brophy. But you can hear her back in the reception.
Oh, it looks like Mildred is
back.
Mildred.
And Seth will kind of walk around the building to go greet her.
And while I'm outside, is this? I know a lot of old houses. I know old houses. This is a thing I know. Is it like a cement foundation, or is there like a crawl space underneath?
You could go take a look.
You can tell by the way the foundation is. Well,
You can always go ahead.
Boys, is this does this house have a crawl space?
You want to roll spot hidden, or you want to?
I'll roll it, but I'm gonna ask
Okay.
the boys to look too, because I.
Oh damn! Success.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus, Seth is like nailing it.
I failed it.
Yeah.
No, but
Well, I read it in a book on foundations.
Yes, this is a what is it there, Will?
There's definitely a crawl space underneath this house.
I figured there would be.
There's
There's some peeping Tom underneath in that crawl space. When I was doing some light reading.
I
There was eyeballs looking up at the floorboards at me, and I do not feel comfortable with this.
Well, what I mean, human eyes?
They looked human. Yes. So someone is doing snooping around underneath this house, and I just.
Well,
I,
Millie,
I-
Millie, I don't want to set you ill at ease, but we've discovered some pretty unsettling stuff in William's workshop. It looks like he may
I've
have.
discovered some pretty unsettling stuff too.
I'm sure you have.
Like this book, and I hold up the Wizard of Oz.
I mean, okay, the Wizard of Oz.
Pretty damning evidence.
I mean, is it a first
cover.
edition? Let me see that.
I
Is this
I
an
swapped the
original
cover.
print?
It's actually the Revelations of Glarkey, Volume 7.
And you see like Seth's face like go white as a sheet when you say that.
But more
Oh.
importantly, there are eyeballs underneath the foundation.
Yes,
Of this
eyeballs. Yeah, eyeballs.
And he like starts looking at the book as soon as she tells him what it is.
Roman sanity check.
I'm reading it already. Okay. It's not for
Yeah, oh
everyone
well.
to see.
Yeah, I gotta call it. Gotta call those crits, especially on sanity checks. But yeah, 4 points of sanity for Seth as he starts reading through this. It connects a lot of the dots for you, Seth. From volume 6 to volume 7. You know, you've been probably reading volume 6 in your spare time whenever you can get a moment to take a look through it. And you've been waiting anxiously for the sequel. Luckily for you, it's just turned up in your lap. And it does connect a lot of the dots about Glar Aki. As you've been reading through volume 6, these spines in the jar sound familiar to what are described as the spines of Glar Aki. He is described as a dread fish-like abomination with grand scales on its back.
Okay, that's okay. And then there were 2 of those jars that had the little spines with the shit on it, right?
Correct.
Well,
Oh, Billy, this is you. And he and Seth like gets kind of excited, like realizing this. And he like might reach forward to like kiss her on the cheek, and then realize what he just did. And just kind of step away.
well, oh God, this is important. I've actually I came across a copy of Volume 6.
Where was that
It was
one?
very serious, and so this will greatly help. But I think that I should tell everyone
Yes,
what
and
this
we need. Is
says.
anyone else like not concerned about these eyeballs I saw looking at me through the floorboards? I am very alarmed.
If you guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Will, is there any entrance down into the under? Like, is there like a subterranean window or kind of like a peak light or anything like that that would
Yeah.
indicate that there's a basement space?
Sure, you can roll me a spot hidden.
Sure. I'm gonna have Laszlo look for it, and he's gonna use one of his.
Nice. I'll take it away from you. Excellent. So, yes, indeed there is. There is a small, little, like hatch, which looks like it could be pulled away. It's wooden as well, almost like a pallet. And you can pull it away, and below there's a crawl space, but it's more like you could stand in here if you were like a short enough person. Probably about 4.5, maybe 5 feet. If you were hunched, you could get down here comfortably enough. The floor looks to be sand, and it looks like it's a crawl space below basement area.
Okay. Is it big enough for Castor to get into?
Yeah, you need to hunch over, but you could be down here comfortably enough.
Okay. Castor takes off his jacket and kind of drapes it over whatever, keeps it off the ground. And as soon as Mildred says that there's some type of eyes or something in here, he slides
There's a
underneath.
peeping Tom. It's very
He grabs that stick he had and just slides underneath.
Just watch people do this kind of thing.
Castor, perhaps you would like a second hand down there. He's kind of calling down, but he's not climbing down himself yet. But he's got the shotgun cocked.
Whatever.
He'll fall. And he has to squeeze in. It's not as easy for him, I don't think.
Oh no,
he's
no,
got a
definitely quite
ability.
uncomfortable. Okay. Anyone else going in?
I'll keep watch over the door out here. Just in case. And he's like looking through the book.
They were about this big, and they looked human, and if I saw a color, I would relate it. I only saw them for a second.
Wait, what are we talking about right now again?
Human eyes that were peeping Tomming through the bottom of the floorboards.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got distracted by the book. Sorry.
It's a good condition 7 that you know, volume 7, but I mean,
What happened to the original cover? If you don't mind me asking.
I swapped it with Wizard of Oz. That way, it would look like we never took it at all.
Okay. Well, until the next time he reads it.
Well, which hopefully is
you did a-
sometime soon.
As much as it pains me as a book dealer, I actually have the knowledge here. It's intoxicating.
Yes, knowledge is more important than what edition is what, such like that.
Well, I'm going to roll. What would I? Basically, I want to observe Seth, and being a person who's had experience with people getting lost in such literature before, I want to gauge how far he is kind of like into this book. As in, like, does he need to snap out of it? Is it just like a, what would you recommend?
Psychology here.
A psychology? Oh dear.
Yeah, you're trying to read
What,
Seth's
like-
equivalent of like the insight check, really.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got 10, so I got a hard success with a 3.
Damn!
Those
Wow.
books, man.
I mean, it's probably pretty obvious too.
Yeah, Seth probably isn't hiding this or attempting to hide this too much, but he's clearly pretty well into this stuff. I mean, you'd know that he is a book dealer, and he works in occult books, so this is right up his alley. But certainly, you could tell that he has lost a little bit of sanity reading these volumes.
Sloane is gonna kind of slink up to him quite silently, and he's going to gently grasp hold of the book and say, "I think that's enough reading for now, don't you?"
Yeah. I mean, we need to keep a lookout.
And Seth will kind of
Yeah, I
close
already
the
read
book,
through a good bit of it. It's very interesting.
and he'll try to like pull it away to put in his satchel. later.
Sloane's going to resist and slightly squeeze. And don't you think you should give Mildred her book back?
Yes. If you need me to copy that for you, Mildred, I can do that. But yes, you did find it.
Oh, it's
Yes.
perfectly all right, dearie. I'll let you know if I need anything, any help.
That's great.
Sloane kind of
Thanks.
just slinks back off into kind of like a shadow where he like watches from.
Okay. Let's go with Castor and Lewis as they head down into the kind of crawl space down there. It's very dark down here, so using the lanterns is advised in order to see anything. And Castor, as you're going ahead, after about 20 seconds or so of being down here, you feel something wet on your face. And you put your hand to it instinctively, it comes off, and your nose is bleeding.
I look back. Is Lewis's nose bleeding as well?
It is.
Well, that's strange. Any idea what's causing this?
Is Laszlo's nose bleeding?
It is.
Yeah, this ain't good.
Is there a sense that do I feel like I'm being watched, or like there's a presence, or you know what I that like, or like the hairs on
sixth
the nape of my
sense.
neck. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that you haven't been able to shift since you got down here. It's weird. There's no way someone could be watching you unless they were looking through the floorboards above. But the hackles on the back of your neck are just sort of, raised as though you're waiting for something.
Can I roll a listen check to see if I can observe noise coming from an area that might not have anything in it? Like if I cast it, I'm listening more than using my eyes.
Sure,
See if
yeah,
I
you
can
can roll me a
identify.
listen check.
Let's crit it. Let's just crit that.
Do it.
Get a little crit action. Crit.
Just get rid of them. We don't need them. Yeah.
Just crit them up.
So, you stop for a moment as you touch the blood on your nose and have a listen. These sounds can be heard from above of like anyone walking around. You hear distant like creaks of people moving, and when you listen, as you know, if you stay wide awake at night and you convince yourself that a murderer is entering your home, you start hearing noises more that you listen for them. Like houses do make noises, and this one's very old, so you hear a lot of creaking around. But you'll also start hearing the beating of distant drums when you listen. And it's something now that you realize has been there this whole time since you've been here. A constant rhythm in the back of your mind, which you haven't quite been able to shake.
You hear that?
Cocks his head to the side. Does he hear it as well?
If Casa tells you what you're listening for, then yeah, your kind of ears equalize into what you should be hearing.
Huh. Yes, now that you mention it, I do hear a drumming, almost, yes?
Yeah.
Is my nose bleeding more? Like, is it continuing? Is it like an increasing effect?
It seems to be bleeding about the same amount, but then, yeah, it's not going particularly heavier or less, as far as you can tell right now.
Well, this is disconcerting.
We can't just stay down here and bleed.
No, we cannot. Do you suggest we fall back then, or do you think we should continue on?
Now, Will, we've basically covered the whole footprint of this place, right?
At this point, no. You've probably been going for about 20 seconds before you had to stop. You haven't been down here long.
What do you think, Mr. Delgado? You want to keep walking?
Well, to be honest, I do not like risking my life, but we find ourselves in a precarious situation. I believe that our hotel, well, the owner is likely to be a murdering madman, so we return and he tries to murder us in our sleep, or we pack our bags and leave and continue on our investigation, or we continue on now and perhaps we find the heart of that.
A couple more steps couldn't hurt, right?
Well, I sure hope not. I'm with you.
Yeah, we'll keep going in a little bit.
Okay, so at this point you are, and let's just drop a token on the map for you guys. You guys are just underneath the workshop. This place is a maze. There are tunnels leading most directions, and roughly knowing the floor print of this house, you guys could choose to go into room 5, which is the room that Rufus is currently cleaning in, or you could go underneath Robert or William's rooms and to the reception if you were to head directly south.
We know that is the room that Mildred was doing her deep investigation in when she
That's
saw
right,
the
yeah.
human eyes. Okay, let's head down into. He would start moving south.
Okay. So as you head south beneath Robert's room, the both of you can roll me Constitution. Not saving throws in this game, but you know what I mean. Yes, the deepest investigation. Beyond the Call of Duty. guys got there? Oh, damn. Nice. Yeah, Flo's asking earlier, you're trying to roll low on Call of Cthulhu, trying to get underneath the number that your ability score is at. So both successes from you guys. You're still bleeding from the nose. The nosebleed does not stop. It is pretty constant. It's not like a flood of blood, but it is like a steady drip down your nose and down into your mouth at this point, to the point where you're going to constantly want to be wiping blood out of your mouth. And actually, let me just bring the map back for you guys. Underneath the room, you guys can roll me spot hiddens. Oh, damn. Laszlo didn't need those crits. Yeah, you guys are rolling hot right now. You spot that there are track marks down here. And it looks like there is a trap door above as well, similar to the pallet which Castor saw before. It looks like it may very well lower down to form some kind of ramp.
Do you think there's ways in and out of every room from this underground passage?
Would it be surprising if there were?
Well, if the proprietor of this hotel is murdering his guests, it would be very convenient to have a way into every room.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't a way. Yeah.
Any sign of like that there's been a person who's here, or a person like with eyes hanging around?
The tracks looks like they could have been recent.
And where are they headed again?
They're headed towards room 5.
Oh, that's Rufus's room. Oh, I hope that boy hasn't gotten himself killed. Rufus, you haven't met him. He carries my things. He's up there, I believe, right now. Do you think we should go check on him? No?
If you'd like, do you want to do it from down here or up top?
Well, it looks like the tracks of whomever was here, who might have been spying, went up into my room. May still be there now.
Will, the tracks that we see, are they booted?
No, they are more like tire tracks, more like the marks a wheelchair would make.
Okay. I was gonna say, is he pushing off with 2 feet without big toes, or? Okay, well, this guy's down here wheeling his ass around, so what do we do? I mean, this is tough going down here, man. This is tough sledding. He's wheeling up ramps and down ramps, and
so he is stronger than he looks. Is that what you're suggesting?
Hell yeah. Get into a wheelchair and try to take it up a ramp on this grade.
That is good thinking. Perhaps we should... Well, I do not like the idea of him going through my things or hurting my boy, but if he's up there now, we might as well confront him. I feel like this is bound for confrontation at this point. He's seen us, surely. If he's down here looking up through the floorboards, he probably knows that we have found his things, his evidence. Perhaps we should go get the others and come at him from both sides, as it were.
I like that idea. I also like this one. Will, is the other brother, is Robert asleep still? Robert's the one
you want to go back into... no, William is the one that slept with Mildred. Robert is the man who's been in the wheelchair.
Okay, yeah, okay, so William is the... Okay.
William. Yes, William is the delver of deep secrets with Mildred, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's the bellows operator. All right, is there a ramp going up into William's room? That's
yes.
Pretty close to... Okay.
Yeah. A lot of these like trapdoors look like they fold down enough so that the incline would be possible for a wheelchair to go up them and down.
Okay. Is there any way from the floor level, looking up with our human eyes into William's room, can we hear if William's still asleep up there?
From a listen check.
Let's crit that too. I want to know if he's in there. We're supposed to burn him this season, so I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna follow rules.
You're listening. You hear neither sight nor sound of William or Robert Brophy in their rooms.
Well, there goes the leverage. Let's go back up top, Mr. Delgado.
Of course, Castor, of course.
Yeah, return.
Yep.
From whence we came.
So returning back to the workshop, the sound of those beating drums fades away. However, your nosebleeds are still going to continue for at least another minute or so until eventually they will stop, as though there's just not enough blood left to that just kind of dries up on your face. Mildred, Seth, and Sloane are back in the workshop as Castor and Lewis reappear.
Friends.
Well, what did you guys find? Oh my god. What happened?
Oh, yes.
Oh
a
dear,
nosebleed,
have a
yes.
handkerchief. Clean you up.
Thank you, Mildred. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you see anyone coming in or out of my room, room 5, while we were down there? We believe that
not
the
that
brother with the
I've
wheelchair.
seen. I've been looking, but I haven't seen anything.
Well, perhaps we should check my room. I believe that one of the brothers might be in it currently. Might have been the one that was looking up at you through the floor.
Well, it would have had to have been Robert who was the peeping Tom then, because William was definitely on the bed.
Yes.
Right.
Well, perhaps we should go look.
Alright.
So, for our second viewer decision of the day at 20 followers, you guys are going to name a book for me. Name a book. Maybe it's a cult, maybe it's something else. Either way, name a book they find. Oh, the group of you are headed round to room number 5, is that correct? Cool. Let's move your tokens over there so you can come out from the outside. So yes, you have the key to the room, Lewis.
Do I hear Rufus in there cleaning still?
Cleaning.
You roll
Supposed to
me.
be.
You roll me a listen check.
All right. Ooh, that is a fail.
You don't hear him inside.
Well, he was supposed to be cleaning loudly, but he bungles everything he does, so perhaps he just took a nap instead. Well, put the key into the door and probably full-heartedly swing it open, but he's still got the shotgun.
You swing open the door, shotgun in your hand, and look into an empty room. Rufus is no longer in room 5.
Where did that boy get himself off to? Let's see. There must have been he'll go in and he'll try to find that, is there a sign of a struggle?
You can roll me spot hidden to take a look around the room.
Well. That's a success.
There are signs of a struggle, not much of a struggle, but there are a few flecks of blood on the door. And looking on the ground, there are what would appear to be claw marks at first, but then you recognize them to be fingernails having been scraped across the wooden floorboards, as though someone were being dragged backwards and they were clawing their way into the ground with their fingernails.
Dragged towards maybe where the location of the trapdoor is, or towards the front door?
Dragged in towards the trapdoor, which you can pretty quickly recognize from taking a look around.
Having seen it. At a glance, does it look like anybody took my bags? Does it look like my things are still...
Your things are no longer here.
Perfect. Well, it looks like Castor, they took my boy and my things, and it looks like they took them through there. He points to the trapdoor, where he thinks the trapdoor might be. And we were just below. We must have just missed him.
Logic would dictate that he has a room underneath this place.
Now, when we were down there, we started bleeding from the nose, and we heard this faint drum. Very, very far off in the distance. It did not seem normal. So if he's down there...
Sloan is going to approach Mr. Delgato, and if there's still a bit, he's going to come up to where the nose is, where there's a stain, and he's going to wipe a bit of blood off his nose and...
Mr. Sloan?
And he kind of just goes... And he kind of wanders around the room, and... It's going to sound weird. Does he get a sense of potential occultish magic or something like that?
There's no real sign of anything like that in the room itself. I mean, there's no sign of like candles around or wax signs or blood sacrifices or anything like that. And you don't really have an ability to sense magic.
That was essentially for show. Did you see any symbols or anything below when you were down there?
No symbols, but I did feel the hairs on the nape of my neck prick up. I'm not an expert in the occult, but it did not feel normal. It did not feel natural down there. And as
how much did
Castor mentioned to me, rightfully so, a man in a wheelchair must be very strong to wheel up a ramp, through a trapdoor, grab my boy, and drag him back down.
Indeed, that is a bit disconcerting and unsettling for sure. More than just your average peeping Tom. I guess we should get after your boy then. I mean,
at least my bags. Yes.
At the very least, it's at this point, it's probably about 3 a.m. just for time tracking.
Oh, we could just get to it in the morning. No, Mildred would not say that. That's just...
Well, I'm game to follow that. There was tunnels that seemed to go under, if I had to guess, all of the rooms, and trapdoors possibly into all of the rooms as well. We did not go that deep in. That it may go further. Maybe even it is connected to this well that you talked about before.
We're gonna keep bleeding, though.
That is true. I get the sense that it is not healthy to stay down there long.
Perhaps we should make a little ring around the perimeter, see if they've left the nearby area, come out through a different trapdoor or crawl space, and or we could go down there, or some of us could head towards the well. We could, I mean, we could set the inn on fire, yes.
Oh. I like fire.
Seems
it does sound like an exciting.
Or perhaps we could search Robert's room.
Oh, yes, if they're not, if he's not in there right now. Make it awful easy to do.
Especially considering, Mildred, what you found in William's room. I mean, Robert's might
Maybe
hold
he's
equal
got
treasures.
Number 8 or 6 or something.
This is true. I want issues 9, 10.
All right, let's go inside. I'll have an oil lamp with me.
Okay, which
Is
room are you
everyone
guys going
coming?
into?
We're gonna search Robert's.
I'm gonna peek and see if William's still inside. Like a quiet night.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys can go round to the front and go back in through the reception to get around there and to get into to Robert's room. On the way around, as you go by the workshop, you'll notice that these 6 jars of liquid and 2 of which are filled with spines are no longer on the table.
Oh, hell.
That is
On
disconcerting.
I'm unsettled by this. What are we dealing with here? We were right next door.
Will,
First the boy, now
can
this.
can I make some kind of occult or myth, like Cthulhu mythos check to see if maybe I know or read in the book any rituals
Sure.
involving human sacrifices in these jars?
Yeah, roll me a Cthulhu Mythos.
Okay,
I think you have some points in.
I do. No.
Not that many, yeah. There are certainly things you've heard of that require human sacrifices. That's not uncommon.
Okay.
Sloan is going to shift his hand from the cane to the kind of like at the top, and in his other hand you can see kind of like his fingers almost do kind of like a quick movement, and he's going to turn to the others and say, "We should hurry," and he's going to start moving a bit
Going as
quicker
fast as I can, Mr. Stone.
around.
Oh, please, Mildred, let me help you. And he'll offer her an arm.
You're so kind, Louis.
Okay, you guys headed into Robert's room, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I peeked into Williams first to see if he was still sleeping.
There's no one in there.
Oh, wait a snap.
But as you head into Robert's room, you'll see that in here, in fact, before you can even get into Robert's room, there is a lock on the door.
Yeah, at this point, I say, just smash it. Things have gotten weird. Oh, also, Miss Louis, if you're worried about your possessions, there was a whole lockbox full of money underneath there in that room. We need to replace anything.
Oh, is there? That's good to know.
Yes.
Excuse me, one moment, and he'll go take the money.
It's unlocked!
Yep, you have $1,232 cash.
Pocket change.
I don't know how long it'll take me to re-up, as it were, so I might as well hold on to this and return to them.
Will, can I pick the lock?
Sure.
And while he's doing that, knowing what Mildred found in Robert's room, or excuse me, William's room, Seth might go and look to see if there are any other texts.
Extreme success.
Roll me a spot hidden here, Seth.
Success.
Nice. So, yes, you're going to be able to open up the lock in here and have a look around. There are no other books of interest in William's room, but there is a bookcase in Robert's room that I'll let you take that roll on. There, Seth. This room is pretty much a mirror of William's room, except that instead of a bed, it holds a large battered crate that looks like it might be used to sleep in instead of a bed. The room smells musty. It's thick with dust. The crate contains what looks to be a filthy-looking blanket pillow, and there's a bookcase on the eastern side of the wall that Seth, you will notice, holds Revelations of Glar Aki, Volume 8.
Oh my. Well,
Where did
And
you find
he'll-
another
he'll-
volume there?
He's gonna try to sleight of hand that into his bag, which he does. And
Nice.
well, nothing of a particular interest that I saw, but
Oh.
we'll see.
Yeah, you guys can roll me spot hiddens and stuff if you want to look around particular areas. That's just general description of the room.
Yeah, I'll do a spot hidden. Why not?
I do not succeed.
I succeed. Regular success.
Nice. Sloane, in amongst the litter of the crates, you'll find a piece of dress that looks very similar to the one that was down in the well with you and Castor, that same sort of black satin. And it will also hold some of Mildred's personal possessions, so like spare knitting needles and the like, which look like they've been taken out of your room, Mildred.
Rude. I need all my yarn. It's very important. Stuff it back into my purse.
It would seem Robert is a little more active than William would want us to believe. I'm going to search for a trapdoor.
Sure. Spot hidden.
We saw this
I
trapdoor
have
from the
a
opposite side, right?
Yeah, you do know that there is one in here that leads below. So there's not a second trapdoor that leads anywhere else. It looks like just a one in here.
All right. Well, I just wasted an extreme success there. Brilliant.
You really see it from the top. You get a good angle.
Perhaps it is time that we went below.
Perhaps. Also, we could probably check all of the other rooms. They did say rooms 6 through 8 were occupied, but we haven't seen any other guests. And if they're just hopping all underneath the building like they are, maybe there's something suspicious going on in there too.
I
we
imagine
can just-
they could already be dead, or
Oh, it's-
taken to where Mr. Delgato's boy.
It's possible.
Have we given up on the idea of getting whatever is of value from this place and then burning it down so that they must come up to us? I liked that idea. I thought that was a fine idea.
That is, if they free the innocent people that are there, which I would imagine that they won't. So those poor, innocent souls will die very, very horribly.
Maybe
If you
less
don't
horribly
believe that.
than they will if we let them go.
And that is why we shall go underneath the building.
Alright, but somebody better help me down there, because steep inclines and all.
Have we checked on the guests in the other rooms that the brothers
That's what I
said?
suggested.
I'm sorry, Mildred. I've been having technical issues all day, so if you said that,
No,
I will
it's
attribute it to
fine.
you.
It's a good idea. I completely
It's great.
agree.
I now remember
I-
you saying that, so let's do
Yes.
that.
If you wish. I feel it's a waste of time,
But maybe if we could all meet in the middle, we'll just find a trapdoor in those rooms and all just meet up down there. That's a terrible
Well,
idea. Let's not.
there is
Uh,
probably a trapdoor in there. However, the
didn't you
longer
say-
we delay, the more chance that they die.
Yep.
When we were coming around, were the two cars still parked outside? The car they came in and the car we came in?
That's right.
Will, didn't you say there was another car? It just wasn't a black coupe that matched the description of the Fraser kid. Wasn't there like another car in the parking lot that was presumably for the other guests? I don't remember if you said there was one or not.
I believe there is. I believe I did say that. Yeah.
This is Still there.
Okay.
Yeah, still there.
It's still there? Okay, what Castor would like to do is he would like to go up, and because these are older cars, the gas tank is basically exposed on them off to the side. You can see the drum. He is going to produce a long knife out of the small of his back, and he is going to reach in, release the emergency brake, which would be the parking brake at that time on the car, push the car forward against the building until its drum is against the base of the building, and he's going to walk up and punch the knife into the drum, pull it out, and let the gas start flowing down into the well or the area beneath the hotel.
Sure.
Just in case. Mr.
Yeah, I'll
Delgado,
take
you
it.
can replace a gas tank.
Oh, it's not a problem.
It takes you 10 minutes to do this.
Alright,
Where
in
do
the
you guys want to
meanwhile,
go
I'm
next?
getting out all handkerchiefs that I have, and I like knit one up real quick, and I'm like, everybody hold this in front of your nose when we go down there. We're all going to start bleeding from there. Here you are.
Will, these rings that we got to hold back the darkness, or what it is, they're multiple uses, right? There's a cooldown. You use it once, and then there's a cooldown, like say like a
1d3
day, and you
days.
can use it again.
Yeah.
1d3 days. Okay. I think probably possibly Sloan might use his going into that, and then he's gonna start crawling under.
All right. So you guys crawl under from Robert's room. Where are you guys headed from there?
Well, they
We
took
still
your
hear the
your
drums.
boy.
Yeah, when you get down here, and the rest of you will have the same experience as the others have had previously, you'll begin to hear the beating of distant drums, and it's not long before your noses start to bleed.
Oh dear.
Can I
Are there any
I was just
tracks that suggest?
There are tracks that lead all around down here. It looks like it's a very well-traveled area for Robert Brophy.
If your
would
boy was
imagine.
bleeding, maybe there's a little blood trail leading from room 5.
A blood trail, or maybe the tracks are heavier because he was carrying the boy, so the wheels sunk in more.
Yeah, roll me a spot hidden down here. Let's move you guys out to room 5.
I'm gonna use an advantage.
I got a crit.
Oh, damn, you do.
I critted.
Damn.
Why
Nice.
am I using these all now?
Alright, fail from Lewis, fail from Mildred, so it's just looks like
I don't expect to see anything ever.
Sloan. So Sloan, on this critical success, and Laszlo as well on extreme, you guys are going to spot slightly heavier, deeper track marks that are actually headed northwards out from the room, and it looks like underneath there's the land still north of the Squatters Lake Motel. There is also blood as well. It looks like heavier blood than you guys are bleeding, because you guys are leaving a trail of, footprints where you go.
Follow the trail as stealthily as possible, I guess.
Okay. You guys come on with stealth checks if you would like to be quiet.
Yes, please. I just succeed.
I have no idea what's going on today, but I passed this stealth
God
check.
damn.
Dude,
I hope I have your luck in fucking Warhammer in a minute.
I do too. I'm using it all up right now for stealth checks.
So
I'm gonna crit mine because it seems like we're all being so stealthy.
Okay, you don't want to let the team down.
Yeah, Mildred is
Okay.
a team player.
So you guys head further northwards. At this point, you guys are leaving the Squatters Lake Motel. you're pretty sure you're no longer underneath the floorboards of that. And the tunnel head changes to that of just dirt up above as well. Though clearly the wooden boards that are like keeping this in place are quite old. This is something that's been here for a long time. Looking on the ground as you go, you can see the tire tracks continue onwards with some what must be quite considerable speed for Robert Brophy to have managed to do this. Now, who is leading the way?
Not Seth.
Anyone we bring?
If I'm honest,
Not
it's probably Slow. He's probably the first one to go in.
I would like to be in the middle. So if I fall forward or fall backward, I have someone to catch me.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Luz will stay in the middle with Mildred.
Okay.
I guess that leaves the back for me. Fine.
All right, so we've got Sloan in the front. Oh wait, put your token. Drag your tokens of the map here for me.
Oh no.
Which
I
map?
think
Map 1?
Yes, map 1. Oh no, map 2. Squatters Lake Motel.
Oh.
Around the motel. The far out view. So you guys are just north of the motel here.
Wait,
Okay.
wait. Oh, I see.
Sloan in the woods.
Yeah, I see.
And who's in the back?
It is Caster.
Yeah, that was
Cool.
just,
Cool. Beautiful. So let's put you in that sort of. Put yourselves in that order for me. So I'd like Sloan and Caster to roll me spot hiddens.
Okay. Yeah, put that down.
My God.
My goodness. I think this is the best you guys have ever rolled.
This has been
Ever.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing. You can both, Sloan and actually no, just Caster, or rather Laszlo. That's confusing. Can hear footsteps following you. Behind you, there is someone following you. You're fairly sure, Caster.
And you're saying that the caster's the only one that could hear this?
Yeah, Sloan, up ahead you can hear that beating of drums. The further you guys are going, the heavier your guys' nosebleeds are getting.
Okay, and Will, you said that there's almost like an old mine. There's like rafter types of stuff holding up the dirt, right?
Absolutely.
Very nonchalantly, as he's walking with Laszlo on his shoulder, Caster is going to get underneath Laszlo with his palm and lift him up right when they walk past one of those areas. So Laszlo jumps up and kind of hides on the blind side of one of those struts, those overhangs, to see if we can't catch the person that's coming.
Yeah, you guys can remember stealths.
Yeah, I'm going to crit that.
Good eye.
Crit.
Yeah. So
Critty,
two
critty,
crits.
bang, bang.
One for.
Yeah, Yep.
Cool. So, yeah, you hear these footsteps sort of crunching behind you, and the darkness is so oppressive that it's difficult to see anyone up ahead, so you duck back behind, and there is a man coming towards you. He would look to be... let me get the description for you guys. He looks to be a pretty tall man. He is probably 6 foot at least, wearing a kind of like fisherman's outfit, what could only be described as a fisherman's outfit, and has got a sort of like lantern, is looking ahead quite nervously. You'd put him in his late 40s, maybe early 50s. And he's about to walk past you, Caster, as you stay behind.
Okay. I'm going to let him go past.
Okay.
And then Does it look like he's carrying a weapon of any kind, like a
He
pistol?
doesn't. No, he doesn't look like he's armed.
Okay, as soon as he goes past, he's going to have Laszlo jump down and skitter like past his legs. And as soon as he reacts to that, Castor's going to bring his arm forward and just forearm into the side of his head and drive him into the wall. Not necessarily trying to like kill him, but if that happens, so
Right.
be it. But to
Sure.
pin him against the wall.
Yeah, give me a fighting brawl.
Oh, sure thing. Success.
Yeah. Roll a damage on it.
Sure. Bum, bum, bum. And then I get my plus another 4 total.
Nice. You are going to be able to knock him out. So he doesn't see this coming whatsoever. The monkey skitters by him. He jumps nervously and just bring around into the side of his head. And he falls unconscious as he like smacks against the wall. The rest of the party are going to hear this. And as you look back, you can see that Castor has taken out a middle-aged guy in a fisherman's outfit.
He's going to catch the lantern as it goes by and set it down so we don't have an oil fire down here. And start seeing this guy has anything in his pockets.
He's got some like tack and like fishing like equipment on him. He also has a wallet on him, which would identify him to be one Bill Dunstan. Dunstan. 48 years
Does
of
he
age.
Does he have a key to the motel? As in, is he like one of the people from 6, 7, or 8?
Right, he has a key in his pocket, which would suggest that he probably has a room here, and his nose is also bleeding a lot.
He's following whoever they abducted of his down here. Sorry, brother. I figured that was the case, but I take everyone out. Call it Cthulhu. That's just how it goes. Okay.
I suggest we drag him as we continue.
Won't his nose just bleed more if we drag him along with us? He might not be able to stop it.
We might not be able to stop us.
Very well. Please, I'll do it. And he'll go and try to grab the man by his ankles and start to.
Sure, it's going to slow you down considerably, but you can pull him with you. It's also going to be quite noisy.
Yeah, Castor will help, and if Castor and Delgado want to hang back, they can kind of fireman's carry him.
Yeah.
Sure. So you carry Bill the rest of the time. As you continue to head northwards, can everybody roll me a Constitution, please?
Oh, this can only go well. Oh dear.
Yep, I got a
Oh,
hard
dear.
success.
Ah,
Nice.
hey.
Mildred failed.
Regular success.
Nice.
I'm gonna spend 7 luck.
Good idea.
I probably should have crit, but I want to know what happens.
And Lewis
Regular
succeeded
success.
as well. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So everyone except for Mildred is going to lose 1 health. Mildred is going to lose 3. As the bleeding continues to a point of blood loss that is starting to become quite dangerous for everyone involved, but particularly Mildred, who probably has a slightly less efficient working body than the rest of you.
It's a good thing my scarf that I'm knitting is red right now.
So bad guys can't see you bleed.
Can I guess that I'm close? Can I assume that we're close to where
No
we
idea.
need to go?
And is the drumming still getting louder?
The drumming grows louder in your ears, although it's difficult to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. It is essentially in the back of your mind.
These
I was gonna
rings
say, does it
that,
sound really clear or does it sound really muffled? Like if it's actually coming through Mildred's ears or if it's in her head?
Very difficult to tell, yeah.
Okay.
these rings that Caligula gave us, I've never used something like this before. You've used this before, haven't you, Sloan?
I'm using it now.
Is it helping you at all?
Listen, it's not helping me, is it? Well,
It's not helping you with the bleeding.
no. Not with the bleeding, at least. And Sloane's gonna push on and carry on.
Yeah, Seth
Will, are we
fall
allowed
in
to
line
first
behind
aid
him.
this?
Yeah, you can roll a first aid check.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna try to first aid myself. Sure. That's a success.
Yep, you can heal one.
Same here. Oh well.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if
so
everyone's
Mildred will
gonna do it.
You may as well try and stop the bleeding somehow.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's difficult. It kind of constantly comes, and even if you're like putting tissue up there, it's still kind of flowing out until the point where the tissues are like completely clotted up with blood. Mildred managed to help it out a little bit, but it is not ceasing.
Once we're out of
Something
here and all you boys back up, I used to into the soldiers back in the Civil War, you see, and there was a lot of bleeding going on then too.
Sloane's gonna speed up. He's gonna start speeding up to get to the end of this thing. Or at least a respite.
The tunnel doesn't seem to end for a while. You feel yourself walking through these tunnels for at least another 20-30 minutes or so in the darkness. It's slow because you're pulling Castor and Lewis are pulling the fisherman Bill with them, so they're dragging behind a little bit more. And you guys are going to roll me one more Constitution roll.
I'm gonna crit mine this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got an extreme success.
Nice. Looks like everyone is succeeding this time around. Good. So everybody loses just one health once again as you push through. You kind of grit your teeth. There's something about the music, which is like drumming inside of your head. And it's giving you quite a severe headache as well, which you think might be related to your collective nosebleeds. It is, luckily enough for you, you haven't started to bleed from your eyes yet, but Mildred in particular, she lost, that failed to check before, starting to feel that your eyes are starting to, like well with blood and start to look quite bloodshot.
That's not that unusual at this age.
Yeah, you guys you don't normally look like that, Mildred.
So,
yeah.
So Mildred is almost bleeding from her eyes, and have we still not reached the end yet?
Yeah, I'll describe what you guys find at the end of this tunnel here. So, you see the tunnel opens up from the kind of 10-foot tunnel it does, and following the tracks which lead through from Robert Brophy's chair, you start to hear the sound of water, kind of rushing, moving water, which would suggest that you are somewhere near the lake or some kind of tributary nearby, perhaps even near the well that you guys were at as well, because there was water in it. The cavern in front of you is perhaps 100 feet wide by a couple hundred feet. The water sound is clearly coming from what looks to be a small, not so much a waterfall, but a tributary of water which is coming through and filling the room. There is a low kind of pool of water on the floor, so much that you would have to splash through it. Not so much wading through, but it's probably up to halfway up your shins, this dark, cold water. up ahead, you can see that there is the form of Robert Brophy, the man in the wheelchair. He is not alone, however. The boy, Rufus, has been placed onto a rock here, a large enough rock to put his whole kind of form on. In front, just behind them, but still in front of you guys, there is what you'd think to be some kind of gate contraption. It doesn't look dissimilar to a portcullis, however, it is made out of wood, behind which you're not sure what is there, but there are clear levers and pulleys to open and close it. They are not the only ones there either. Wallowing in the waters down here are several forms of different people. They look to, at least at one point, to have been human. However, you could clearly recognize them, anyone with some kind of occult, to not be alive. They would look to be some kind of form of zombie-like or ghoul abomination. They are kind of weltering and wallowing down in the waters and darkness here. They do not look like they have just gotten here, for the most of them. It looks like they've been here for some time. You guys can all roll me sanity checks as you witness this. And I'm letting your stealth checks roll on from previously, so you haven't been spotted.
I don't have to, right? Well, because I activated the ring. Or is it been an hour?
Yes, you don't have to roll.
Oh, good.
Oof.
Lewis fails.
Seth fails.
I succeed. That's nothing I haven't seen before.
Nice. If you failed, you lose 5. If you succeeded, you lose 2. Or if you didn't need to roll, Sloane still loses 2. Witnessing this abject horror, you realize the truth of the Squatters Lake Motel and what the Brophy brother William has been up to down here. He has managed to create some kind of half-life in members of the Squatters Lake Hotel that have been staying here. And shortly, the purpose becomes clearer. You watch as William Brophy steps out of the darkness, shotgun in hand, looks to have been reloaded as he slots a couple of shells back into it. He, on the rock, which they look to be serving as some kind of table, he places the jars of Glar Aki with the spines in them and the yellow fluids. Presently, you guys can roll me listen checks to hear in on what he's saying to, what they're saying to one another.
I fail.
I actually succeed.
Yeah, success for Laszlo too.
Nice.
Got
Or
an
Castro.
extreme success.
Nice.
I failed.
Okay, so Zeph, you're going to pick up bits and bobs of this, not the whole conversation, but you guys can like push forwards a little bit, and the sounds echoes quite nicely around these caverns. And William, the man standing with the shotgun, he kind of whispers in towards his brother Robert and says, "Brother, yes, very good. Another one for our master Clarky. He will be very pleased with us. Very, very pleased indeed." And you watch as he goes to his brother and kind of like puts his hands around his face as though he were, holding like a lover's face. And you watch as the two of them lock faces together and very passionately begin to stick one another's tongues down each other's throats. And you watch as the Robert in the wheelchair seems to be like, this is the most animated you ever see him, and his eyes are huge. And Mildred, you recognize those to be the same eyes that have been staring at you before. They break away from the embrace and say, "Soon it will be finished, brother. Soon. I have planted the first seed. The steps have been completed, and she will soon be ready. I don't think she even noticed what I did.
So,
And at that point is where we're going to end tonight's session of Call of Cthulhu Doors to Darkness, my friends. We're leaving it there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you guys.
I need my own hold back the horror ring for like me right now.
Yeah, that's a sanity check just waiting to happen, my friends. Well, that is where we're going to wrap up tonight's session quite nicely there, I think. And we're going to have to wait until next week to see what on earth has happened and what is going on in the Squatters Lake Motel and what is happening with Mildred Crabapple. It's been an intense session, my friends, but same time next week for more. But stick around, of course. We've got Warhammer Beneath Dark Bowels happening soon with Self Pruitt. Jim Davis is in the DMC, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Burning some witches. But man, this was an episode. If you guys enjoyed the show, of course, hit the follow button and join us as well. And thank you again to Isriva and Latu for those donations, and a special thank you to Kevin Lovecraft for pledging on Patreon as well. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. But let's go around the cast and crew. What do we think about tonight's session? Where can we find you guys online? Let's start with Pruitt tonight. Pruitt, what do you think?
Well, when you can leave the entire cast like wordless in horror, you did a good job. So yeah, this was a great episode. I thought there was a lot of great interaction between all the members, and I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm absolutely horrified to see where it goes, but I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm Pruitt with WebDM. We have our show on Wednesday. I have my game on Tuesday night, Starward Bound. Gonna be here with you for the next 6 hours. Well, 3 hours here and 3 hours over on Saber Dice. Also, check out RPGN on Sunday. Me and Lindy got a new thing we just started. Maybe somebody will submit a clip from this show and we'll talk about it. It'll be a little self-serving. But anyway, I can't wait till next week.
Great stuff. Thank you, Pruitt. Don, what do you think?
This was one of the creepiest episodes, I think, of Call of Cthulhu, and it's still like early on, so it's not as far out there as it gets. But there's something about an old rickety hotel on a swamp with people beneath the floorboards that's kind of my favorite. It's my favorite kind of horror. So I had a blast. I'm loving everybody's characters. Everybody's characters are really, really interesting, and there's just a lot going on. I can't wait for more. You can follow me on Twitter at Donathan Fry. I am in Tomes and Tentacles podcast, releases new episodes on Tuesdays. That's really good right now, too, if you want more Call of Cthulhu with Greg and Lindy and Will. And then I'm also producing in Dice Tribe, which is my high adventure dinosaur D&D podcast, which releases new episodes on Thursdays, and that's a lot of fun too.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Don. Lindy.
I've been in giggle fits for like the past 5 minutes. That was awesome and spooky and fun. There was a lot of stress knitting that happened during that hole underneath the floorboards. I was like, once there was a peeping Tom, I was like, oh, fuck this. This is bad. This is really bad. I don't like it at all. But I wanted to know more, and it's terrible. It's awful. I hate it. I love it. It's so great. Yeah, this is where it's at. I can't wait to find out what happens next week. Mildred didn't think she was virile enough to have that kind of thing happen to her, but apparently not. So, yeah, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy. Here every Wednesday for the super awesome, wonderful horror of Cthulhu. And I'll be back here in 3 hours for the Star Wars RPG as well. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm so excited. Every Thursday you can find me on WebDM's Twitch channel playing a tiefling bard in a kind of a post-apocalyptic setting. It's really cool. Every Friday on Grimjack 21502's channel. playing a brand new campaign, Firefly RPG, and it's super awesome. I can't wait for Friday. And then every other Saturday, you can find me on Power Square RPG doing some D&D. And then on Sundays, you can find me and Pruitt on WebDM again for RPG and your number one source for tabletop gaming. And then Sunday evenings again on Grimjack's channel because, you know, we like Cthulhu and Pulp Cthulhu and Nazis and getting punched by Nazis and punching Nazis. And then every Tuesday for Tomes and Tentacles podcast. And then later on my channel that night for Out of the Abyss.
Great stuff, Lindy. Thanks so much. And Greg.
Oh, I had a great time. I apologize for all of the technical issues I had. It was awful. I should be back in my Sancta Sanctorum next week, but I had a great time. I mirror everything that everybody else said. It was learning so much. The one thing that being the keeper of several Cthulhus, Will is pulling 0 punches this early on. We're losing sanity no matter what. You make the roll, it's just 2 sanity. Oh, okay. Oh, well, fuck us then. You know, I mean, it's going to be bad. It's too early on for that. I'm a little scared. Anyway, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. You can find me at all the places. You can find me Monday here doing Atomic Cthulhu at 4:30 Eastern, Tomes and Tentacles on Tuesday, WebDM in the evening from 7 to 10, doing a little 5e Spelljammer action where I play the Halfling Arcane Trickster Elry Tossbottle. Here at 1 to 4 is where it's at, where it always will be, on Encounter Roleplay doing Call of Cthulhu. Let me see, Friday, Firefly on my channel, 2 to 4 Eastern, to Grimjack21502. Saturdays on Wizards of the Coast, Learn by Play, 6 to 9. And then on my channel on Sundays, Grimjack21502 for my opus to all things Nazis punching, Pulp Cthulhu Project Athena from 7 to 9. But meet me back here. I'll have a better setup next week, I promise.
Great stuff. And last but not least, Tom.
You certainly know how to do them, Will, don't you? You certainly know how to do the monster incest, hot, elderly action. Yeah, it just doesn't get any better than that, does it? Really? I mean, I really enjoyed this episode. This was an episode of not only grossness but of discovery as well. We discovered some pretty shocking things, and I liked. It was subtle. It was short, but I liked the conversation between Sloane and Seth when he was on the book, and Sloane kind of seen such things before. He's probably seen someone get lost in those books before, so he's a bit wary of it, and I really enjoyed that little subtle interaction there. Overall, really looking forward to next week, as I always am. It's not looking good though for my sanity. I don't know if anyone knows, but Sloane didn't get any more sanity for this season, so it's not looking good for him. But we'll see where it comes from. We'll see where it goes. Myself, I'm Redundant UK. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, and sometimes on the weekend. I think I'm currently streaming XCOM, where I make viewers, and they fight for me and die. Most of the time,
for me,
which is fun, and they die for me. It's cool. Cool. So if you're interested in that, come check me out. I normally stream 2 p.m. GMT, so a little early for a lot of people. But yeah, also you can check me out on Twitter, redundant_UK, and check me out in Encounter Roleplay streams. I'm normally hanging around there.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Tom. The whole cast and crew of Doors to Darkness. Great job, everyone, and I'm looking forward to next week where we have more old man incest, as I continue to try and find new and inventive ways to be completely fucking gross, and succeed, I might say. But we're going to head into our next show, Warhammer Beneath Dark Battles. Stick with us here. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones, because we ought to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye!